What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Joe Smooth. I'm coming at you with another video. Now, here I'm coming at you guys with Jujutsu Kaisen chapters 143 through 145 review. And this is going to be an unscripted, uncut video, so I'm just going to go through it real quick. First is going to be a quick recap of everything that went on, followed by my thoughts and connecting it with different events that's going on within the story. So, picking up right where we left off with chapter 143, coming off the tail of 142, we have the conclusion of the battle between Naoya and Choso. Now, we knew that Choso defeated Naoya and that Yuta came in, clocked Choso, dragging Yuji in, and he ended with the "looks like you're hurt, Naoya." I remember I told you guys before, I'm not sure if he meant it to be or not, but it sounded sort of condescending. And apparently Naoya took it the same way, as he felt that it was condescending as well. Don't look down on me, kid. So anyways, going on from that, we have the poison from Choso's blood working on Naoya, in addition to the physical damage he inflicted. Yuta saying that he can heal him with reverse curse technique, but he has to tell his superiors that Yuji's dead. We get a flashback onto Yuji's parents, his grandfather and his parents, and we see something very interesting in regards to his mother. We have Yuji waking up with Yuta and Megumi, as well as Choso nearby in the background. So basically we have Yuta explaining what happened regarding him and Gojo talking, and him and Yuji, what happened in regards to him quote unquote killing Yuji and then seemingly reviving him in order for them to talk and to get over the situation. Now, from there, we basically just have talking between them. 143 isn't really an eventful chapter. It's more of like lore building, should I call it that? But Yuta understands that Yuji, the power that he bears, isn't his own fault. He says it's even different from him and Rika, because Rika is something that he personally caused. Even though he didn't mean to, he cursed Rika, and since he did that, she's his basically guardian spirit now. And even so, he doesn't want to get rid of her. Rika's the person that he loves, despite the strange circumstances going on with that. So he's like, I chose to have this power, but you didn't. You didn't exactly choose to have Sukuna invade your body and you become Sukuna's vessel. Even though Yuji technically did by eating the finger, he was basically just trying to save people. Anyways, going on from that, we have Megumi coming in on the scene and joining the conversation. They're talking about what happened with the barrier and what's going on with the school and the culling game. Yeah, that's the big point to talk about. But I'll talk about that towards the end when I get into the actual discussion rather than the review. So that's basically 143. It's not too much. 144 now is when we get a little bit more about what they should be doing. Now, of course it begins with the culling game. They're talking about it, and then Yuji and Megumi banding together. Yuji telling Yuta, I should stop saying us so much. Yuji telling Yuta that he is entrusting him to take him out just in case anything bad happens in regards to Sukuna taking over. Moving on from that, we're going into the things with Tengen and the barriers, which I was actually surprised that they actually made it to Tengen so fast. Basically, Choso shows up and says, now the reason why Mahito was able to get through, like, they can use the same method that Mahito did to get the cursed wombs, the death paintings, in reverse. And basically Choso can sense where the rest of the others are and use that to like sort of locate as a built-in GPS signal where the rest of them are. Now, we immediately cut back to the Jujutsu school where we have Maki and Tsukumo there, and we see that Maki, her hair is shorter, she's burnt up a bit, but she's not looking too bad. She survived. We don't know what happened to Nobara still, because Yuji did ask that. We don't know what happened to Nobara still, which is still nerve-wracking. I hope they don't kill off Nobara. I don't think they would kill off Nobara. I don't think Akutami would kill off Nobara. Not like that, but it's still kind of sad. We do see that, well, we did know from before that Naobito died, and we saw that Nanami, he was able to actually survive the burns and soldier on and fight. But he got killed almost immediately by Mahito, sadly. Which goes to show how strong of a person Nanami really was. He was able to take on the burns that actually killed Naoya and put Maki out of commission for a while. And Maki's physically gifted. Either way, basically we get some more talking about the death paintings, the rest of Choso's brothers. We get some talks about Tengen and the barrier going inside. We have them going down to meet Tengen, and surprisingly at the end of chapter 144 they already met Tengen. Now I was thinking that it would be a lot more, but Akutame is not really dragging things out. They're really getting right to the point, which I like. So 145, I'm just going through the recaps quickly so I can tell you my thoughts on everything at the end. So here and 145 we have them meeting Tengen, and basically it's explained that Tengen, he's immortal but he still ages, and that due to certain things that went on with his star plasma vessel failing and accelerated aging and his likeness becoming more of a curse than that of a human, Tengen's transformed into basically an inhuman looking human. He's still humanoid, but he has like 4 eyes, a weird shaped head. He's just not normal looking anymore. But he's been around for over 500 years. And of course, Yuji asked the question, yo, why do you look so weird? But they ask about... Oh, we find out Noritoshi Kamo's real name. Of course, not the Noritoshi Kamo that is the third year student at Kyoto, but the Brain-kun Noritoshi Kamo that's possessing Geto. His name is Kenjaku. So now we have a name for Brain-kun, Kenjaku. Kenjaku's been around for a while, as we all know, and he's been a devious man, as we know. But the prison realm, we find out a way to open up the prison realm, sort of, and we also find out some of Kenjaku's goals of what he's planning to do. And we see that things like Kenjaku, he got both lucky and he planned things out really well. He planned for certain things to happen, and certain things fell into place that allowed him to get to the point where he has to get today. He's been gathering the different pieces on the chessboard, and sometimes the opponent pieces seem to just fall right in line with what he needed to do. So it's both careful planning and a bit of luck and fortune that helped him get to where he is today. But right now, he's basically right at the edge of where he needs to be to complete his plan. Basically, all he needs to do is win the culling game to see the experiments and what happens, which that's not really necessary for him to do, per se. That's more so like a side thing that he wants to do to further his goals. But on the other hand, we actually have him wanting to merge with Tengen. And if Kenjaku merges with Tengen, we hear that he would basically become a transcendent, ascended being. Now, we don't know what kind of power he would hold. If this is like a metaphorical thing or like a physical thing. We don't know how high, if JK is going to get into like higher dimensionality and all these things, dimensional tearing. It doesn't seem like that from the way it's going, but the words they're saying and the way they're kind of describing this whole situation, it sounds like it could go there. Now, it's sounding like Sukuna's not even going to be the #1 threat anymore. Like, it's wild. Like, if Kenjaku fuses with Tengen, what's going to happen? Like, what kind of power would he gain? And would he really be able to wipe out humanity? I'm going to say yes, because, you see, if we have Kenjaku completing his goal, he'll have so many curses under at his disposal to use. Many of them will be first grade and special grade curses, which is going to be insane already. For the Jujutsu Sorcerer's defenses, Gojo is still sealed, so we can't even rely on him. Granted, they're trying to unseal Gojo, but say he gets Tengen and Gojo's not sealed. Jujutsu Sorcerers are basically screwed unless the main people, heavy hitters like Okotsu or I forgot the third year's name. The third year that Gojo was mentioning, to do with the dreads. Unless either him, Todo, Yuji, Megumi, people like that. Tsukumo, yeah, those are the special grades. Yeah, unless people like them are able to band together and fight off all the curses as well as Geto. Granted, even if we get Gojo back, I know Gojo is strong to turn the tides of entire wars, but fighting Geto, well, Kenjaku in Geto's body when Geto is like already a special grade sorcerer himself. Yeah, it sounds wild. Anyways, we find out that Tengen is more of a curse than a human in terms of his physical makeup, even though he started out as a human presumably. And he wants to absorb Tengen in order to become this ascended being. Now, we've also find out that the Star Plasma Vessel, the 6 eyes, etc., are connected by fate. Sukuna, everything. Like, I don't know how Sukuna fits into this whole puzzle, but we find out Kenjaku's lost to Gojo's ancestors twice before, and one time he decided to kill the Star Plasma Vessel and Gojo's ancestor when they were, well, I can't say they were Gojo's ancestor if they were less than a month old, because that means they weren't able to have offspring, but someone in Gojo's family long ago. So now he resorted to sealing Geto because the 6 eyes basically reinstated itself. But since there can only be one user of the 6 eyes, if he kills them, it'll reincarnate to someone else, like a devil fruit in One Piece. But if he seals Gojo away, then no one else will have the 6 eyes. And the 6 eyes is what's basically integral to defeating Kenjaku. And we don't know why yet, but we'll find out soon, I bet. Then we had the thing with Toji and how that basically changed the course of history, and everything that happened between Toji, the Star Plasma Vessel, Geto, Gojo, all that ended up culminating into something that's going to happen very, very soon. It's going to be big, guys. It's going to be big. And then we find out some things about the culling game again, and the back of the prison realm, them trying to get special tools in order to unlock the back door of the prison realm. And yeah, and then finally we get the reveal of a curse technique user and the sorcerer from 1,000 years ago named Angel. And that's where we end off. Now that I've got the recaps out of the way, I can get into my thoughts on everything. Now on chapter 143, some people have been suspecting that Yuta wasn't really trying to kill Yuji. I was under the impression that he actually was, but I was wrong. He's not trying to kill Yuji. He did what he needed to do to get the higher ups to kind of accept the situation, and then from there he's operating in secret so he can manipulate in the shadows with Yuji, Megumin, whoever else he needs to work with. That flashback regarding Yuji's parents, Yuji's father, Yuji, his grandfather, they're all related to Jujutsu sorcery in some sort of way. Now, Yuji's mother, we see that she has the formation on her head that looks like it resembles the stitches that Kenjaku has on his host. Now, I'm not outright saying that she like, this would be the weirdest thing if Kenjaku is Yuji's mother in a roundabout way, not biologically, but like he's the reason why Yuji was born. I'm not gonna say that. I'm just gonna wait before I say any wild theories on this. But Kenjaku, Jujutsu sorcery, all that's related to Yuji's birth. Now, is it possible that Yuji is a heavenly restriction baby? Is that the reason behind his strength? But is it possible that his heavenly restriction was different than that of Toji and Maki's? As we know that Yuji can use curse energy. But here's the thing, actually. Yuji's use of curse energy isn't natural. Yuji only is able to use curse energy because he ate Sukuna's finger and became a vessel for Sukuna. Is it possible that Yuji is actually like a full-on heaven, I already forgot the term, I'm sorry guys. But is it possible that they use a heavenly restriction on him, and he's got all the gifts of being a heavenly restricted non-curse user person, and then he ate the finger and got the benefits of being a curse on top of it because there's such a small 1 in a million chance that he would both survive and become Sukuna's vessel? Who knows? Now, Yuji sort of had that memory. He wakes up from the flashback, and then we get the talking between him and Yuta. Now, that's not entirely important per se, but here we get to things about the culling game. Now, the culling game is what I really want to talk about, between Kenjaku bringing in all these Jujutsu sorcerers and civilians into this game. Now, here are the rules we have for this game. Actually, you know what? I might just make a separate video on the culling game in itself. I might just do that, because that's something that might actually deserve its own video with how much you could discuss on it. Well, more so theorizing than discussing, since we can't really predict it. Now, going forward, chapter 144 is more of build up for what's going to happen in 145, so I don't really have to go over anything in there. But chapter 145, there's a few things to note. Now, one thing to note is that well, this is not a very big point. It's a minor point, but Miguel is still alive. Now, I don't know if you guys remember Miguel from the prequel. He's a cursed technique user that was working with Geto, not Kenjaku, but actually Geto. And he actually fought Gojo, and Gojo considered him a tough opponent. Gojo even took off one of the bandages around his eyes and was using one of the 6 eyes to fight him, and they were seemingly at a stalemate. Here we find out that Miguel is still alive and well, living in Africa. So that means that him and Gojo fought, and Gojo did not kill him. He did not get killed by Gojo. Now, I'm not saying that Miguel is as strong as Gojo, but Gojo acknowledged Miguel as someone that was strong and someone that was able to fight against him. So, potentially, if Miguel ever becomes an ally, he could be strong. Granted, what he used to fight Gojo was a special, very special curse tool that was able to basically... It was basically on the same level as the inverted sphere of heaven. And it was able to reverse and like bypass curse techniques, which included Gojo's infinity and limitless and such. So it's a nice note that Miguel is still alive. Anyways, now that I'm looking at it, the scars on Geto and Noritoshi Kamo from Kenjaku looks more like stitches actually than the scars. What was on Yuji's mother looked more like scars. Anyways, aside from that, we get some good lore and backstory on Tengen and the situation that happened 11 years ago and how this is all going to connect to what's going on now. We know that whatever Kenjaku is planning is going to be big because he wants to really change the world in a not so positive way. It seems that him and Geto's plans are sort of intertwining, even though Geto wasn't going to do it the same exact way as Kenjaku was. Kenjaku's in a weird way carrying on Geto's will, but not intentionally, I don't think. I think he's more so just carrying on his own will, and they just so happen to intersect. But Tengen is sort of becoming sort of an ascended being, and with Tengen's special powers, if Kenjaku gets a hold of that, he'll become something new entirely. Something beyond curses, something beyond curse users, something beyond Jujutsu sorcerers. Is going to be wild. And with the power that he already has naturally, well, not naturally, but through Geto, being able to control seemingly an infinite amount of curse spirits so long as he activates the required requirements in order to take hold of them, and whatever other techniques he has, as we know there are a bunch of generic techniques that sorcerers can learn, and this man's been around for over 1,000 years, so who knows what kind of nasty techniques he knows. But yeah, guys, this is sort of just a quick... Oh yeah, how could I forget? We have Choso and Tsukumo staying behind to protect Tengen, just in case Kenjaku or anyone comes after him. Now, here's the thing. We've seen a lot of Choso, so I'm not too sad about this, even though Choso's the boy. I like seeing him fight, even though he is a murderer that took out a bunch of civilians, and he's not a good person by any means. On the other hand, Tsukumo, I actually want to see her fight. Like, I want to see her do something. Now, granted, we might still get her to see her fight, as she is doing a bodyguard duty for Tengen. But I want to see her like in battle on the outside, and like interactions between her and Todo, which is her student, and things like that. I guess we won't be seeing that for a while. Maybe. But right now, we see that Yuji and Todo and potentially Yuta are going to take part in the culling game, not to kill people, but in order to basically save Gojo. So yeah, I'm sorry if this reviews and discussion afterwards seemed a bit like fast or rushed. I got to get used to both scripting things and going off the dome better without fumbling or saying and things like that as much. I'm just trying to get used to speaking in general. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and yeah, it's your boy Joe Smooth out. Stay smooth and peace.